Welcome to Shallow Farm. You come in here and relax. I know you probably have a lot of things to do. You've got a lot of things planned today, and you're saying, I'm going to take down the rest of my Christmas. Some of you already have, and then there's some of you, like myself, I wanted to wait till the last day. I have enjoyed this Christmas season. I have enjoyed everyone and all of my friends and my family and the fellowship that we've had. It has been a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful time, and I am so grateful for every opportunity that I had to share with someone, to strengthen one another, to just fellowship and enjoy the food this year and this season and the reason for that. And now we're in a new year, and you say, well, you know what? I've got a lot of things planned. I've got a word that I'm trusting. Mine is better. I'm already seeing better after going to the doctor, and he released me, the plastic surgeon. That was better. And then to see that, the doctors had told me last year when they first met me, they said, this is going to be a long journey. And this cancer journey is going to be a long journey, but it's going to be temporary. Do you know it was exactly that? It was probably one of the longest, hardest journeys, but it was temporary. And I just am very thankful that I was in the hands of good people, but I was in the hands of a good God. And today, there are some of you that are discouraged because you said, I have been praying in 2023 prayers that I'm still having to bring over in 2024, and I'm discouraged. I am so discouraged because I'm still praying that prayer that I thought would be answered, and I wouldn't have to carry that baggage into 2024. And God hears that prayer. He sees that need. He hears your desires of your heart. And I just recently heard T.D. Jakes pray, and he said, God, put the angels between whatever the need is. Put the angel there between the enemy, between the sickness. God, put the angels between, the thing that you're going through financially, the stress that you're going through. Put the angel between me and that problem. And I really have stood on that. God, whatever I'm going through this year, whatever you're going through this year, between me and that problem, put the angel there. And God, you do the work. I want to read you something out of my book. I read it in the devotional yesterday. Listen in Silence Before Me. This is one of my devotional books that was published in 2019, and you can still get that on Amazon, and it is tremendous. I was reading out of both of my devotionals that I've published, and I saw this, and I said, I really need to backtrack today and read this to you because I really felt strong in my spirit that somebody's going through this right now. It's not a time to get weary because your prayer is not answered. It's not a time for you to get weary because, something hasn't changed in your home. Something hasn't changed in your health, in your personal life. Something hasn't changed on your job. Something hasn't changed for your children. And so, I want to read this to you. I hate when I'm in a hurry. Running late and around the curve is a detour sign. Don't you just hate that? Or all of a sudden there's a train in the middle of the road and you're stuck. That means I have to turn around, and sometimes that way is not familiar. When I'm traveling and I see a detour sign, I'm like, I don't even know that road. I've never been there before. I hope I can read the signs and get to my destination. Nehemiah felt that so often when he was called to rebuild the walls in Jerusalem. Time after time, the enemy would plot to hinder or stop the work. When we're going on our journey and something happens and it's not what we plan, and it seems to put us at a stop or a detour, we immediately get frustrated. We get distracted. We get to a place where we are very much in despair because this is not the plan. This is not what I intended. And that's how the enemy wants to work in us, to frustrate the plan. It says what the enemy didn't know is that he was given determination to do more work, bring unity, and placing them in the right places to finish the work. When he was trying to stop Nehemiah from rebuilding the wall, all it did was put a fire up under him. All it did was flame the gifts that was inside them. It caused them to be even more determined and to come together and work even harder. Haven't you seen that happen to you in times when something happened in your family and all it did was that you just pulled together hand in hand and you said, okay, we're going to do this together? There was roadblocks and detour signs, and they are not pleasant for the moment. Our redirection may cause some discomfort. You know, we get ill when something stops us from walking in a certain path that we've designed for ourselves, or even the plans that we know that God has for us. And there's a detour in the road, we get frustrated, we get mad, and we start fussing at God, and God's saying, I know what I'm doing. I'm in charge of this. This is just a simple detour, because if I don't go and lead you this way, I'm only preventing you. I'm only causing protection in your path. And I'm only going to put you there because there's something else around the corner. And if you don't go this way, or if you don't stop there, or if you don't make another turn, you're going to miss the whole plan. And so it says, the steps of a righteous man are ordered from the Lord, but sometimes, and this is so true, sometimes we don't know it. Nehemiah 6, verses 2 and 3, but they intended to do me harm. And I sent messengers to them. I am doing a great work and cannot come down. That is a made up mind. I'm not coming down from what I'm supposed to do. I'm not going to stop being the best mom that I can be. I'm not going to stop being the best minister that I can be. I'm not going to stop being the best father, the grandfather that I'm going to be. I'm not going to let what others are doing to try to tear me down from my destination. I'm not going to let them defeat me. You're not going to let the enemy take down and frustrate you and the plans that you have, the goals that you've set for 2024. You're not going to let the enemy come in and set up camp and rob you from that. No, we're not going to do that this year. You know, there are people who made plans, who set goals, who said, I'm going to do this past year, and you didn't do it. And because you didn't do it, you feel defeated. You walked in this year saying, well, if I didn't do it last year, what makes me think I'm going to do it this year? Well, it's going to be different because you're going to have a made-up mind, and you're going to say, I'm doing a great work, devil. I'm doing a great work, and I'm not coming down. Or you're going to say to your family member, I'm going to do this, and you've hindered me before, and you've stopped this before, but God has put this in my heart, and I'm going to do it. And it's not that you're being rebellious, it's that you're being obedient. You're going to have to be obedient this year. And it says, he even asked them, why should the work stop and he come down? It didn't make sense. If God tells you to do something, if God tells you to go back to school, if God tells you to go into this new open door and go to a new job, if God tells you to walk in this new position in church, or to step up and be something different in a family to help them, do it. Why should we not do it if God has told us to do it? It's just a hindrance, a plot of delay, stopping it to be completed on God's timetable. That's all the enemy wants to do. But you know what? Let's don't blame the devil for everything, because sometimes we're our biggest enemy and we're the ones that stops the plan. There are tasks God has put in your hands that have been hindered. You may have to reroute, find a different tool or a new location, but you're not going to give up or give in. It could be anything involving your life. The main key is you're not coming down nor postponing. If he has spoken it, look for it to come to pass, and you shall be amazed. Do you know, if there is a new open door for you, if there's a plan that God has for you, God has already gone before you. He's already prepared the way. And you are going to walk through that and see the very hands of God unfold the provision, the strength, the courage and the boldness to do it. You don't have to sit there and wonder that you've been left behind, or that you are there and you're going to do this on your own. If God has opened that door for you, He is going to see you all the way through to the other end. Just because there's a roadblock, just because there's a detour sign, just because it's telling you to reroute another way, it doesn't mean that it's over. It doesn't mean that it's not going to happen. Or that even God changed His mind. It's not going to be that way. There are some of you with your health that you have been so conscious of your health, and some of the handicaps and disabilities that your health has brought you, that you have said, I'm just going to have to endure this the rest of my life. I'm just going to have to put up with this. I'm just going to have to deal with this, and it's going to stop me from doing some things. Do you know what? It doesn't have to stop you from doing some things. You can reroute. You can do other things that will help you. But one thing you don't need to do is you don't need to give up. You absolutely don't need to give up. There are people who say, I can't do this because I don't have the means, I don't have the finances. But I will tell you something that I've learned through 46 years of ministry. God is say, work with what you've got in your hands. It's right in front of you. You don't have to say, well, I'm going to do this for the kingdom of God when I get 50,000. I'm going to do this when I get some extra money this month. Because you know what? Extra money may not come. And are you going to disobey God because you didn't have the money? Use what you have already. Use what you have. Don't go out there with big ideas, big plans, and a big operation when God says, listen, I use a lot of simple things. Because when God does the simple things, like He did with the boy that had the fish and the loaves of bread, He broke it and multiplied it and was able to feed the multitudes, because it was just little fish and bread, and it even had basketfuls left over. And so God can take your stuff that you seem to think is little, and God says, you think that's little and that's simple, you wait till I bless it and multiply it. I want you to have a wonderful day, and I want you, in between times, say, God, what do you have for me? And don't let me be distracted. Don't let me get all caught up in the detours. Don't let me get caught up in some roadblocks, but help me to see the path that you have for me. He will light your path, and He will move back your enemy in the meantime. God bless you. I love you. Have a wonderful day.